We've finally arrived at the NFL season finale, the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are back to their 5th Super Bowl with the Chiefs in 6 years, attempting to lift the Lombardi Trophy for the 3rd straight time. The only thing in their way, the Philadelphia Eagles, seeking revenge for a heartbreaking loss in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs in 2023. Saquon Barkley has his eyes set on some history of his own. He's 30 yards away from breaking the NFL total season rushing record set by Terrell Davis in 1998. Safe to say we are in for a treat on Sunday night. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Cailey Thalman here with Lauren Harth and Ashley Mascaro to break down the battle of the best coming up on Super Bowl Sunday. Now, Lauren, look, the Eagles look pretty unstoppable on the offensive front from their dangerous wide receivers in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and then they've got Saquon Barkley, the running back of the year, the running back of the past 10 years, it seems like. But then on the other side, you've got a Chiefs rush defense that is one of the best in the NFL. What are they going to have to do to get it done on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about it perfectly in your intro. Saquon Barkley is having a historic season, record-breaking season. He's having a revitalization of his career. He's really being that extra oomph that the Eagles offense needs to get further in the season, and now it worked out. They're in the Super Bowl. And I think, too, he's having these historic rushing games, game after game, breaking records and seemingly closer and closer to more and more records as he goes. So I think it's really going to be a matter of, can he establish the run game and effectively break the strong rushing defense that comes from the Chiefs? And especially for the Chiefs rushing defense, so far in the playoffs, they let James Cook rush for 85 yards last week. And the week prior, there was nearly 150 yards allowed by the Texans rushing corps. So I think it's really going to be a matter of, can they actually stop Saquon Barkley? And I'm interested to see what happens there.
Now, Lauren, I have to ask, at the beginning of this season, when the Eagles had lost those 2 games, did you expect them to be in this position heading into the Super Bowl?
See, it's a hard question. You always have the confidence in your team, but I think when I thought logically about it, the Eagles had the potential. That was the biggest issue with those losses. They have the talent on their roster to be in this position, deservedly so. So it's going to be a matter of, can they really correct themselves from those 2 losses early in the season and continue strong all the way through 4 more quarters?
Yeah, Lauren, I mean, you summed up the Eagles offense pretty good. I mean, one thing I will say that stood out to me was in the postseason in 2024, Jalen Hurts has been sacked 11 times. That is kind of a big concern, especially with this Chiefs defense, who is very, very strong. Cailey, you said it earlier as well. They are one of the best in the league. And they have 10 sacks in the postseason. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Chris Jones was the #1 free agent last year, and he got re-signed to a big deal with Kansas City this year. That was a great move for them. And he is unstoppable. But the big question is, will Saquon Barkley be able to run through this Chiefs defense? I'm not sure if they're going to be able to.
And you said it with the Eagles offensive line allowing Jalen Hurts to get sacked. But on the other hand, that offensive line is perfect in achieving the brotherly shove against a defense. It's going to also take into account, how do the Chiefs react to that? It's something a lot of teams are still trying to figure out how to replicate and how to defend. So it's going to be an added element to that offense that will be interesting.
Yeah, the brotherly shove is done no better by any team in the NFL than the Philadelphia Eagles. And Ashley, you touched on it. I think the only question mark in this Eagles offense right now is, what's Jalen Hurts going to play out there on Sunday? Because really it has been touch and go towards the beginning of the postseason and end of the regular season. I know he was struggling with some injury, concussion protocol and all of that, but he's going to need to come out and be almost flawless, and so will the Eagles defense if they want to take down the most dangerous weapon on offense in the postseason in Patrick Mahomes. You don't mess with Patrick Mahomes when it comes to the postseason, and he's really proven that over the past 5 years when he's been in the Super Bowl in 5 out of those 6 years. So Ashley, what's the Eagles defense going to have to do to shut down this seemingly perfect weapon in Patrick Mahomes, even though the Chiefs don't top really any regular season charts in terms of offense?
Yeah, Cailey, you just said it. The Patrick Mahomes statistically has had one of, if not the worst statistical year of his career. And even in the postseason, this is his worst year. So it's very up in the air. And I feel like the past few weeks, the Chiefs have really come on top. They have shown that they are a great team. Patrick Mahomes had one of, if not the best game of the 2024 season against the Bills last week. So the Eagles defense, they need to come out and be strong. They have to guard the Mahomes-Kelsey duo, which is going to be so tough because Buffalo was able to do it last week. They only limited Kelsey to 2 receptions and 18 yards. But when you face Philadelphia, their defense is a whole nother level than Buffalo. So it'll be interesting. And especially they're going to have to prepare to either mark Kelsey or mark Xavier Worthy, who has also been a great addition to this Chiefs offense this season. So it's going to be really tough. I mean, I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but you said it again, they need to be flawless. Both sides need to be flawless. All 6 sides need to be flawless in this game, basically.
No, you said it perfectly with Patrick Mahomes not really having his best statistical season, but they're still finding so much success because of the depth that is on their team. If he connects with Travis Kelce, then Xavier Worthy's the one being doubled, or vice versa. So there's all of this depth on the offense that seemingly always seems to be flawless and can find a way to make it work. But they are seeing some new faces on the Eagles defense, specifically Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, both up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So they just bring that element to the Eagles defense that has put offenses kind of into a spiral, trying to figure out what to do and how to react to these teams, and Zach Bond up for Defensive Player of the Year. So the depth of the Eagles defense, I feel like combats the depth of the Chiefs offense really well and poses for some really exciting matchups.
Lauren, I mean, you're talking about the Eagles' defensive depth there, which I think is absolutely present. But again, you really can't count Patrick Mahomes out in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it's been a miracle, honestly, to watch. You're talking about, I'm not going to say that he's the GOAT, obviously, yet. I think Tom Brady has that handily for right now. But he is getting into that conversation, which I at least didn't think would be there for the next decade at least. So it's been really impressive what he's been able to do. And that brings me to Sunday. Can you count Patrick Mahomes out in the Super Bowl?
It's always hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and really what he's going to be able to do. He always seems to have some tricks up his sleeve that can really be the edge in the Super Bowl. But I do think this Eagles defense will spoil their three-peat and spoil NFL history, and the Eagles will get the win. I'm still thinking a close game, but the Eagles are going to have a slight edge, probably a 4-point win. I'm going 35-31.
Lauren, I'm the opposite of you. I think Kansas City's going to make history and become champions for the third year in a row. But I just don't see anyone defeating Patrick Mahomes. He is on a high right now, and I just don't see it happening. And even Nate Burleson said it best last week when they defeated the Bills. This is history. People should enjoy it, and this is the same exact thing that happened whenever Tom Brady was winning. It's the same thing with Mahomes, and it's going to die down in a few years probably, but I think you got to enjoy it while it's lasting, and I think they're unstoppable right now. So I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say probably like 24-21, but I think the Chiefs will come on top.
Ashley, you talk about history. There's history on either side of this game. Honestly, there could be history in the game on both sides no matter what. If Saquon breaks that rushing record for the entire season, he's only 30 yards away. So in my mind, that's a given.
Especially since he has 30-yard rushes on just a single carry. I mean, it seems likely that he'll get there.
Exactly. So I think you're going to see two sides of history here, and I'm going to go with Ashley. I think the Chiefs are getting it done because you touched on it earlier. They've been able to get it done all season, right? They've had some lucky calls go their way, but that's what it takes for a good team to win. If you're putting yourself in that position time and time again to even give an opportunity of a close call to give you the win, then that means you're doing something right. And I think a lot of America is going to be unhappy with that because we're sick of hearing the Chiefs name over and over and over again. But I do think this is going to be a close game. But in any close game, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately. That's all we've got for you on this edition of Penn State Sports Night. I'm not sure the majority of America will be happy with either result, but that's what happens when you've got the best of the best who get it done. For Lauren Harth and Ashley Mascaro, I'm Cailey Thalman. Enjoy the game on Sunday and have a wonderful night. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this and so much more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. For everyone here at Penn State Sports Night,
we are
Penn State Sports Night.